Your financial black hole number 3. How do you know when you're in it? Stay tuned.
From Philadelphia, the home of the Liberty Bell, Financial Freedom Radio starts now. Here's your host, Raymond Jewell.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to financialfreedomradio.com. I want to thank you all for coming and downloading, listening. We'd like to have you send your friends to us. We work on referrals, and if you can get this information out to them, then that will help them in their financial world. And so we're going to go into the financial hole number 3. How do you know when you're in it? And I'm going to show you that. And it's going to be a little bit of a refresher from last week because we went through this pretty fast last week. So when we do this, you'll be able to get a good idea as to how to tell when you're in the black hole number 3. Good morning, Stevie.
Good morning, Ray. How are you?
I'm good. Well, not so good. I got a back pain. I'm doped up on Flexeril. And as soon as I finish this, I'm going to go take an ibuprofen.
So, for those of you listening in, we normally record the show on Monday or Tuesday, but yesterday Ray was pretty under the weather, we'll say, on muscle relaxants. So we're doing this on a Wednesday this week, but he looks like he's feeling good, so I'm going to trust that he's feeling good. I got to watch out for him. I got to protect him.
Well, you know, as you get older, your body tells you when not to do things.
Yeah.
And I didn't listen to it. I was swimming, and I think I wrenched my back. I do laps in the morning in my pool. And so when I was swimming, I felt something, but I didn't pay any attention. I said, it's just a muscle. I'm working out the kinks in the old body here. But guess what? The old body said, you're not swimming for a while. We got to fix this.
I posted a funny meme yesterday on Facebook that was relevant. It was entitled "How to Fall Asleep in a Chair," and it says step number 1, be old. Step number 2, sit in a chair.
Easy.
No, because it applied to me. It applied to me as well. It was like, be old and sit in a chair, and you'll fall asleep.
Right.
So yes, as you get older, your body, you have to listen to it. So thank you for taking yesterday off. You didn't want to, but I forced you to.
I know. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me time off for
good
behavior.
You're welcome.
Or no, that was medical leave.
Yes, you're allowed 1 day of medical leave.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going
to go through this financial black hole number 3 and tell you how you know when you're in it. And this is going to be, if you saw last week's show, some of this will be familiar to you. So it's going to help. But if you didn't, you'll understand when we're finished. So let's roll the first video. This is going to introduce the LEAP process and give you some thoughts to be thinking about before we go into the next slide. So if you can roll that video, please, Steve.
What if we can't save enough money?
What if our investments don't earn if we live longer than 35 years?
What if we live longer than 35 years into retirement?
What if we can't save enough money?
What if we live longer than 35 years into retirement?
What if we can't retire at 65 like we planned? What if our investments don't earn enough?
Or what if something unexpected happens?
You can't predict where your financial plan will be years from now, but you can plan for the unknowns by creating a strategy to deal with them. The financial planning world is a flurry of contradictions, full of confusing and conflicting information, and many people don't know what to do. LEAP can help you balance your insurance policies, retirement accounts, investments, income, and any loans you may have. And it helps you balance your financial plan. But it's so much more than that. LEAP can help you make better financial decisions so that you can handle the what ifs. No more contradicting advice, No more confusing information. Just an efficient and coordinated plan for financial success. Isn't it time for sane, sound, and simple financial decision making?
So what this will give you is an idea of structure. In order to find out whether you're in the financial black hole or not, you have to have structure. And structure will give you the insight into the inefficiencies, just as an architect will build a model, a scale model of a building or a bridge or whatever it is before they actually build it. They're looking for inefficiencies. I once had a friend who took me, he was an engineering professor, and he took me into uh, a place where he taught, and it was this big swimming pool. It was huge. And I said, boy, this is the world's largest swimming pool. And he said, no, this is the ocean. I said, what do you mean? He said, shipbuilders from all over the world will bring their models of ships in here, and we will do everything we can to simulate the ocean. They want to make sure that the boats don't sink and that they stand up to hurricanes and anything that they can throw at it. So when you have a lot of money at stake, models are built. In your financial world, there are no models that are being built because the financial people focus on products and not process. And when you focus on products, you may get a sale of a product, but it could be devastating to you in your whole financial world. So you have to build a model of your financial world first and then simulate the effects that can be thrown at it, the negative effects that can be thrown at your financial model to make sure you have no inefficiencies and everything is running the way it should. Because the problem is we have all these inefficiencies. The financial planners leave them all over the place. I have been in behind financial planners and I've seen where they leave money on the table in inefficiencies all throughout the financial interactions they have with clients. So unless you have a full, comprehensive macroeconomic model, you may end up later on in life with not what you think you would have. So we're going to take a look at the model again and go through it and understand how it simulates your financial world. And we're going to come back to this probably again next week because this is very powerful. It's important in understanding whether you make $30,000 a year or whether you make 3 million or $1 billion a year. You need to have this model in place so that you can recover the inefficiencies. So Steve, you have that slide, please. Okay, so this model is broken down into 5 components. You have the protection component, the savings component, the growth component, cash flow, and debt. Seems simple, doesn't it? Well, when you start to open up these, we call these file drawers. So if you look at vehicle insurance, if you don't have the proper car insurance and you have an accident and you get sued, everything else in this model is at risk. So without proper protection, property insurance the same way. If somebody comes to your house and slips and falls, are you covered? And insurance companies want you to, well, first of all, you get to do 2 things with an insurance guy. You'll tell them what you want to pay and they'll try to fit it in there. You never ask him, you want the maximum efficiency in the protection component of your life and minimize the cost. That's not language they're understanding. So if you just minimize cost, you're going to be underinsured. And if you try to maximize cost, how do you know? So you want to make sure that you've got your property or your protection part of the model as tight as possible. And when you look at property insurance, liability insurance, it's like you're driving along and you have an accident. Let's say you get hit by a beer truck, deep pockets, and the question is that beer truck going to pay you your what you're supposed to because it's his fault, or are they just going to try to get by with as little as they can? And if you turn around and sue them, they have deep pockets. They're going to go for the jugular because they will pay out up to a certain point, but after a certain point, it's not cost effective for them. So when you have property insurance, the same way. Somebody gets hurt on your property and they sue you. What are you going to pay them with? They're going to be dipping down into your savings and growth. So in the car insurance, homeowners, and then the liability. So if you had insurance covering you for 100, 250, or 300, that means that the insurance company is going to pony up $100,000, max up to 250 or 300, and then they have every right to walk away. So if they can't make this go away within that realm, they're going to drop it. And you're going to end up holding the bag for any other problems that could occur. And I've had some people say, well, that usually covers the problem. No, it doesn't. Because if you got a passenger that decides to sue you, what are you going to fight them with? Your insurance company is only going to work up to a certain point. They're going to wash their hands and walk away from it. So if you have $1 million liability coverage, then they're fighting for $1.3 million instead of just $300,000. So you want to make sure that you've got the maximum protection and minimal cost, because we buy insurance in hopes that nothing is going to happen. And we want to make sure that we're fully protected. Then you get down into disability, medical insurance, and government plans as Social Security. Disability, what happens if you become disabled? How much do you have in income? And can your family still maintain their lifestyle? If you're married, if you're not married, and you're single, how's your lifestyle going to be if you can't work? Are you going to get paid? So it's all about maximum protection, minimal cost. And then you go down to the bottom drawers: wills and trust, ownership arrangement, and life insurance. Do you have a will? Most people don't. Is the will a proper will? Do you have life insurance? This is one term that people can't stand to talk about, but I've never had any beneficiary turn down a life insurance check when I've delivered them. So if something happens to your economic life, what's going to happen to your family? What's going to happen to your children? Are they going to be able to go to the school proper or that they should be going to? How's their life going to be? Are they going to be relegated to living paycheck to paycheck? Are they going to lose their house? All these questions have to be answered and more, but the purpose of this show is to give you an idea that without building that model and putting it in the simulated ocean, you're never going to know. So with our model, what we do is we project out year after year after year after year and show how the inefficiencies impact your financial world. And then we play what if scenarios. What if you die? What if you're disabled? What if you have a bad car accident? Our simulators actually simulate these events. Are you spending more of your cash flow in protection instead of savings and growth? How much debt are you carrying? One of the financial planners love to say, well, you need a 401k and an IRA. So people stretch and they put their money in these 401ks and these IRAs. And what occurs is if they need money, they can't get it because there's penalties to withdraw early. So if you got all your savings in a qualified government program and you need money, you have to run up debt because it's all tied up in these other areas. So how much of your money are you tying up? Are you creating debt? So we're in these shows, we need to talk about protection, savings, and growth. Next week, we're going to come back to this and delve into the protection part a little tighter, and then savings and growth, and get you to have a clear picture of whether you're in that black hole or not. If you're a really good person that likes to protect themselves and you're putting money into the protection part of your model and you've got all your money in there, what happens in the savings and growth part of your model? So we need to ask these hard questions, but without a model, you have no way of knowing. And when you talk to salespeople in different parts of this model, they're not going to understand this. They're more interested in selling their product to you than understanding where your financial inefficiencies are. And so many times, people will end up maximizing a purchase of a product and putting other areas of their model at risk. So we've gone on long enough today. I hope this information was helpful. We'll get back on it next week, and hopefully my back will be better. If you want to download the shows, go to financialfreedomradio.com or youtube.com, Financial Freedom Radio, and click on the bell, and you will be subscribed. So you'll be warned, lack of a better word. You'll be given advance warning when we put one of these shows up. That's probably not a good word, Steve, but
No, that's fine.
So I want to thank you all for coming and downloading this show, and please pass it on to your friends. We need to have people understanding the financial world, and then if you want to do this, we'll point you in the right direction. Just go to raymondjewell.com/meet and set up a 15-minute meeting, and I'll get your contact information. We'll talk for a little bit, get your contact information, and try to point you in the right direction to find somebody that can help you. So again, I want to thank you all for coming and downloading, and I hope you have a blessed week. Take care. God bless.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the podcast. If you want to learn how to create real sustainable wealth like the extremely rich people do, or maybe you just want to sustain the wealth you already have, you need to check out Dr. Ray's new book, Why the Rich Are Rich. Ray's been coaching clients for 35 years and has completely unlocked the secret strategies that rich people use day in and day out to grow and sustain their wealth, regardless of what's going on in the economy. His book is completely free, and you can get it by going to whythericharerich.com and entering your email address. Again, that's whythericharerich.com. Head over there now.